Just ahead on Health News Update, a tick bite that could trigger a surprising and dangerous allergy, a breakthrough that could personalize weight loss treatment, and new questions about popular weight loss meds and how they may affect your mental health. Those stories and more headlines from medical journals and research institutions coming up next. Hi, I'm Miranda Kahn, and welcome to Health News Update, where we bring you the latest medical stories from scientific journals and research institutions. We begin today with a warning many people still ignore. If you're young and think that constant acid reflux is no big deal, think again. Doctors say that little burn in your chest could actually be a warning sign of something far more serious. Mayo Clinic specialists say they are seeing a concerning rise in stomach cancer among younger adults, including people in their 20s and 30s. The problem is, many patients assume their symptoms are caused by stress, diet, or simple indigestion, and they delay getting checked. Doctors say persistent acid reflux, bloating, unexplained weight loss, nausea, or trouble swallowing should never be ignored. While the exact cause of the increase is still unclear, experts say early detection can significantly improve outcomes. The bottom line is, if symptoms don't go away, get them checked. Now, to a potentially promising development in HIV care. Researchers say a common water pill used for decades to treat blood pressure and heart conditions may also help strengthen HIV treatment. A new study finds that spironolactone, a well-known diuretic, may help quiet HIV when used alongside standard antiretroviral therapy. And recent testing, the add-on helped viral levels drop faster and reduce inflammation without damaging healthy immune cells. The drug doesn't eliminate the virus hiding in the body, but researchers say it significantly reduced HIV activity. The study appeared in emerging microbes and infections, and scientists say it could open the door to new add-on approaches in HIV care. When it comes to weight loss treatment, one size does not fit all. Now, Mayo Clinic researchers say a simple genetic test could help take the guesswork out of which medication will actually work for you. The test analyzes genetic markers that affect how quickly a person feels full and how their body regulates appetite. Using that information, doctors can better predict whether someone is more likely to respond to a medication that targets portion size or one that reduces hunger and snacking throughout the day. The tool includes popular weight loss drugs like GLP-1 medications. Researchers say this approach could make weight loss care more effective and far more personalized. As more Americans turn to weight loss medications, researchers are taking a closer look at their possible side effects, including how these drugs may affect mental health. New research suggests some people taking GLP-1 weight loss drugs may experience a higher risk of depression or anxiety. That's especially during the early stages of treatment. Experts say these medications can influence brain chemistry, appetite signals, and reward pathways, which may affect mood in certain patients. However, many people report feeling better overall as they lose weight, and the risk does not appear to affect everyone. Doctors say these drugs can be life-changing, but any changes in mood should be discussed with a healthcare provider. Speaking of weight and overall health, what you eat may play a much bigger role in chronic pain than you realize. A study published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that people who followed a healthy eating plan for just 3 months cut their pain levels by nearly half. The improvements happened even without significant weight loss. Participants ate more fruits, vegetables, and whole grains while cutting back on alcohol and sweets. Researchers say small, consistent changes can still add up to meaningful relief. From powders to pills, you see them everywhere. Collagen supplements, all of them claiming to turn back the clock, promising smoother skin and stronger hair. But do they really deliver, or is it just smooth talking?
A lot of the collagen supplements, it's a lot of marketing. They're expensive. They have additives in them and they're not regulated. So I typically tell patients like save your money on those supplements and you're better off, protecting what you have.
Dr. Schultz Catterpole is a dermatologist at Cleveland Clinic. She says collagen is a protein our bodies naturally make. It keeps skin firm, smooth, and strong. But starting in our mid 20s, production begins to drop a little more each year. And while collagen supplements sound like an easy fix, Dr. Catterpole says the science just isn't there. Instead, she recommends sticking with what is proven. Ingredients like vitamin C and retinoids, which help your body boost its own collagen. Lifestyle plays a big part too. Smoking, alcohol, and too much sun can all speed up collagen loss.
Even if you're not someone that spends a lot of time outside, using an antioxidant every morning, like a vitamin C, vitamin E, and then a broad spectrum sunscreen, you're protecting your skin from like the elements which degrade our collagen.
Dermatologists say some people may see modest benefits, but diet, sun protection, and overall skincare still matter the most. You know, tick bites can cause Lyme disease, but did you know one bite could also make you allergic to red meat? The CDC says a growing number of people are developing a rare reaction after a tick bite, and many don't realize what's causing it.
I remember waking up in the middle of the night and feeling just really weird. Got up, felt lightheaded, felt like I was going to fall over, and then eventually, I was covered in hives. I went straight to the emergency room and they just said, looks like an allergic reaction of some sort, and prescribed me an EpiPen and sent me on my way. I was frustrated, I was scared. I didn't really understand what was going on, and there was nothing obvious that we could, point to. They recommended seeing an allergist. Nothing came up. I felt like it was happening all the time. I got to the point where I would go to the emergency room but not check in. I would just let them know, hey, I'm outside, just in case you see somebody fall over and pass out on that bench out there. That went on for months. I eventually saw another allergist, and she was like, well, there is this one thing that it could be, but you would have had to have been bit by a tick. Well, of course, I was like, I get bit by ticks all the time. I camp a lot, I go out in the woods all the time, and I'm always pulling ticks off of myself. I had never heard of alpha-gal syndrome before. It's triggered by a Lone Star tick. They're pretty easy to identify. They have like a lighter mark on their back. It's not like other common food allergies where you eat something and you have a reaction almost right away. The reaction is delayed from when you eat it. So that made it really hard to diagnose because I wasn't associating my meal with the reaction. Turns out that to deal with it, the solution was that you essentially couldn't eat meat. Specifically, I can't eat red meat, I can't eat pork, I can't eat lamb, I can eat poultry, seafood, shellfish. I can't eat regular hot dogs anymore, but I can enjoy a good turkey dog. At first, I did miss bacon, which is really delicious, but it's just something I can't eat anymore. I never used to take precautions against tick bites. They weren't really something that I ever gave a whole lot of thought to. We do still go camping in the same place, but of course, I take precautions now. I think it can certainly help. There's always a little bit of risk, and I always have a little bit of concern that I accidentally will eat meat and I'll have a reaction. It's just something that you've got to be aware of and make sure that you're proactive about.
Wow, doctors say if you experience allergic reactions hours after eating red meat, especially following a recent tick bite, it's important to get tested. Up next, we talk with the author of a new book on narcissistic personality disorder.
You're watching Health News Update, where we bring you the latest headlines from scientific journals and research institutions, medical breakthroughs, lifestyle tips, one-on-one interviews. You'll find it all on Health News Update.
Many of us know narcissists, those whose favorite people are always me, myself, and I. But beyond narcissism is a deeper, more destructive mental health condition. It's called narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD. Being in a relationship with someone with NPD can be traumatic and lead to lifelong wounds. Our guest today is noted therapist Dr. Rachna Buksani Mapuri, a licensed mental health counselor with more than 23 years of experience who specializes in trauma and family dysfunction. She's also the author of the book Unseen, a therapist's reflection on a daughter's journey through a narcissistic father's shadow. Thanks so much for being with us, Dr. Buksani. What is narcissism, and does every narcissist have narcissistic personality disorder?
There are symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder that include things like entitlement, arrogance, that grandiose, presentation and the grandiose belief about themselves. However, narcissism falls in a continuum. So you can have people who are superficial, where they're a little self-involved, they're taking selfies all the time. And the other end of the spectrum becomes the malignant narcissist. So really narcissism is in that continuum. So no, not everybody who has narcissism has narcissistic personality disorder.
Interesting. So why is it so difficult to recover from a relationship with someone who has narcissistic personality disorder?
I think one of the most challenging things that makes it really difficult to recover is to be a part of these relationships. You really have to lose your sense of self. There is no way to have yourself or an identity in these relationships. So rebuilding that sense of self or rebuilding that identity, which is completely lost in those relationships, I think that is what makes it extremely hard to recover from this.
Doctor, you wrote a book, Unseen, about your client's recovery journey. Tell us more about that.
In narcissistic family systems, children are either assigned roles or they adopt roles to be able to survive. So we have roles like golden child, scapegoat, invisible child, the peacemaker, the assistant, the fixer. And like I said, some of these roles are adopted by the kids themselves as a means of survival. And some of them are assigned to them. My client was assigned the role of being invisible. She did not exist in her parents' life. If anything, she was an inconvenience to her father. So, she spent her life trying to not be an inconvenience to anyone and never realizing her potential, what she was bringing to the table. And that carried on to her relationships then with her husband, with her kids, where she was really struggling to even connect with them because she hadn't had that sort of connection with her caretakers. The reason I wrote this book is because in my experience of being a therapist, I have seen so many people struggle as they come from narcissistic family systems, but completely unaware. So they're in therapy and outside, they are gaslighting themselves. They are invalidating, minimizing their own feelings, and they really don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. So, when I saw so many people going through this, that's when I decided I think it's time to pen this down for all those people who might still be out there coming from these family systems, not knowing that that's what's going on and not being able to reach out for help. So it's my way of spreading hope, empowerment, letting them know that there's always, at the end of this journey or the beginning of their journey, they're the authors, so they can write or rewrite something that's happened to them.
Love that. So, doctor, please explain, if you could, the concept of cognitive dissonance.
So cognitive dissonance is a very big part of narcissistic relationships. And the reason for that, it doesn't come from the desire to excuse as much as it comes from the desire to hold on to this relationship. Remember, narcissistic relationships have a trauma bonded component to them. So when they're good, they're really good. And then the bad is really bad. And when it's bad, you're kind of waiting or hoping that you might be able to do something to bring it back to the good. And that's what creates also this dissonance, because you feel, you're justifying it because you really believe that, oh, no, maybe this person will change. Maybe someday this person will see me. Maybe they're just, it's true. Maybe they're just having a bad day. Like in my client's case, when her father would come, if he had a bad day, he was very abusive, physically abusive. Now, for that child to be able to survive, she has to have a level of dissonance. She can't go around feeling that, oh my gosh, my father is a terrible human being and, who's done this to me and who's abusive, because she needed to make stuff up in her mind to be able to survive. And so I feel in narcissistic relationships, dissonance is almost a way of survival.
So do you believe that full recovery is even possible?
So I don't know what full recovery looks like, but I do know that we can recover enough to lead a very fulfilling life. I do believe recovery and healing is a lifelong journey. It's a beautiful journey, but it's a lifelong journey. There's always going to be moments that, I might feel triggered. And even for my client, today she's able to manage those triggers. It's not that she doesn't have those triggers, because remember, trauma lives in the emotion center of my brain. It doesn't just go away. So, while trauma is a thing of the past, healing is always going to be a thing of the present and the future. So I believe it's really a lifelong journey that we go into, but it's really a beautiful one and a very, very fulfilling and rewarding journey.
Such a powerful message. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Bhaksani. And that's it for today's Health News Update. Join us each week for the latest headlines from medical journals and research institutions. I'm Miranda Khan. We'll see you next time.